Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 57 of the TEW 2020 UJPW series here on the channels. It is the Champion Carnival Tour, and for the first time, will be 4 blocks featured in this Champion Carnival Tour. I figured we needed to change something up, and figured that was going to be the best way of going about it, is extending the blocks from 2 to 4, as there will be as far as 8 men per block. This is what the blocks are going to look like, as blocks A and B will be on the odd number shows, and then blocks C and D will be on the even number shows. As Doug Furness, the Headhunters, Hiroshi Hase, Jun Akiyama, Masahiro Chono, Masaru Fuchi, and Steve Williams round up Block A. A pretty solid block there, to be honest, because there is literally, as far as you have Doc and Chono there as probably your front runners, also Hiroshi Hase there as well. You have Fuchi in there, Jun Akiyama, of course the Headhunters being in, as far as both of them being in the same block, should be pretty fun to see, because obviously they're going to have to face off against each other, so that should be a barn burner for sure to see those two crazy bastards battle it out. As for Block B, we have Big Titan, Big Van Vader, of course the All Asia Heavyweight Champion, Kenta Kobashi, Kensuke Sasaki, Masato Tanaka, Mike also, Norman Smiley, and Stan Hansen rounding up the group. So you have, as far as obviously the All Asia Heavyweight Champion and Vader, Kobashi's there, Kensuke Sasaki being there, of course, one of the newer members of the NWO, him and of course Hiroshi Hase. Masato Tanaka, Mike Awesome being in the same block is fun. Norman Smiley being in there as well. Pretty gaijin heavy when you kind of think about it, because yeah, I mean there's 3, 4, 5. So it outnumbers Kobashi, Kensuke Sasaki, and Masato Tanaka. But it should be a fun block though, because obviously with having the heavyweight champion in there, the All Asia heavyweight champion in there, has the focus on obviously Vader has a big target on his back. Plus he's also looking to get some wins back after losing in the Excite Series main event. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for Vader. As far as that's a fun block to see, because there's a lot of guys that kind of stylistically match up well. Then you got Norman Smiley in there. That's kind of like a bit of a curveball for a lot of those guys. Somebody that can technically get it done, as far as you can put you in a hold and tap you out, as far as not really using his strength, his size to his advantage. He can, as far as get you in a hold, and doesn't matter how big you are, you're just stuck there. As that should be a fun block though. Block C got Dan Crawford, Roshi Tenzan, Johnny Smith, Kaiji Muto, Koji Kanemoto, Tosha Kawada, Vampiro, and Wild Pegasus. So this is a bit of a mixed bag here, because you got a little bit of everything. You have some, as far as first-time Champion Carnival participants in, like Vampiro and Wild Pegasus. You got Koji Kanemoto in there, Kaiji Muto, of course, and Tosha Kawada. It's probably your front runners of this block, and you got Tenzan in there as well. Johnny Smith back in the Champion Carnival as well. Dan Crawford should do very, very well in this block. I'm excited to see how that plays out, because there's going to be some solid matches throughout it. It should be interesting to see who finishes in that block as far as on top. And then for Block D, the final block, Kira Taue, Dean Malenko, Gary Albright, Johnny Ace, Mitsuo Amasawa, Satoshi Kojima, Shinya Hashimoto, of course, the Grand Heavyweight Champion, and Ultimo Dragon. What a block. First of all, you have Dean and Ultimo Dragon. You have Masawa and Hashimoto, of course. Taue's in there. Albright looking to get back into a big-time role here in UJPW. And Satoshi Kojima being in his first Champion Carnival. That should be fun to see how he does. And Johnny Ace back in Champion Carnival matchups as well, because I believe the last one he was in was probably 93, 94, so it's been a hot minute for Johnny Ace. But yeah, that is the blocks. We do not have a final show booked yet. We have at least 4 matches, so it's halfway booked. But we probably won't run through that actual final show, just because we know it's going to be 19 shows this episode. We want to run through this relatively fast, and we have everything pre-booked though, so that's pretty straightforward. Basically, nights 1 through 16 are going to have 6 block matches, and then 2 undercard matches, and then the nights 17 and 18, the final 2 shows of the block section of the tournament, will be full on 8, as far as 8 block matches for each of the final 2 shows. I will say this though, the winners of the blocks will have to compete twice in one night. I like that, as far as being able to really emphasize that if you win this Champion Carnival this year, you've really earned it. Having to wrestle twice in one night on the final show. But yeah, I'm super excited to see how this plays out. As far as we could have definitely had 2 blocks of 10. As far as the original plan, as the original plan was for Block A to be Taue, Big Titan, Big Van Vader, Dean Malenko, Kensuke Sasaki, Kaiji Muto, Mike Awesome, Mitsu Amasawa, Norman Smiley, and Stan Hansen. That was going to be Block A. Then Block B was going to be Jun Akiyama, Kenta Kobashi, Koji Kanemoto, Masahiro Chono, Masao Fuchi, Shinya Hashimoto, Steve Williams, Toshiro Kawada, Ultimate Dragon, and Wild Pegasus. So a little bit more like compacted as far as obviously you would have a lot more chances of having better matchups compared to splitting it up into 4 blocks. But I feel like the roster right now is in a great spot to where we can at least get away with 4 blocks of 8. We'll see, though. It is going to be pretty interesting. I think it's going to help us out a lot that each block doesn't have its separate day. That the fact that we're going to combine the blocks A and B in one day, and then, as far as the next day being C and D blocks in one day, I think it's going to help us out a lot, because that's kind of the one thing with the New Japan series, as far as just kind of learning from that. We can't really get away with that on that series, because, if we do one block there, as we've seen, it can be a bit of a hassle to get through it. But with this, I think this should go over really, really well. We have a lot of guys coming up from, as far as making their debuts on the Champion Carnival. That's always exciting to see. But yeah, night 1, rocking and rolling. Albright, it was brought for versus court, accused of not paying attention during a locker room meeting. The judge, Shinya Hashimoto, found him guilty and sentenced him by a crate of beer for the locker room bill. So because, obviously, both blocks are competing on, one night apiece as far as blocks A and B and C and D, we'll probably take a look at the standings after probably night 8 will be the first time we take a look at it, and then we'll probably jump. And the next time we'll look at it as 12, and then obviously 16 going into the final 2 shows. If I had to, just looking ahead here, that's probably what we'll do as the main event, though, for this first night. So we have the Headhunter A against Masahiro Chono, Jun Akiyama, Hiroshi Hase. Mike Awesome, Masato Tanaka's on the first day as well. We'll probably go Norman and Vader, night 1, as the main event. Vader's going to beat him in 20. And then the co-main, Steve Williams and Masato Fuchi, which should be a really good matchup. Oh, they might actually... Oh, that's why I just wanted to do a 10, just as kind of like a... Because we need a Steal the Show matchup, so I figured we went with this. That's fine. We'll have that be the co-main as a Steal the Show matchup. That is fine by me. Jun Akiyama, Hiroshi Hase. Hase losing to Jun Akiyama. As far as Hase's beating him... as far as in 97, he beat him twice. 96, though, Jun Akiyama did pull off the upset during the Champion Carnival last year, so he's undefeated against him in Champion Carnival. Well, actually, no, he lost last year. So 2 years ago, he finally beat him for the first time during their first matchup. Other than that, he's not gotten a win, but he gets one here. As that should be a fun matchup, though, to see. We'll go Kensuke, Big Titan next. Kensuke's going to beat him, so it's a big win for Kensuke Sasaki. Headhunter A against Masahiro Chono. Masahiro Chono's going to beat the Headhunter. And then Mike Awesome, Masato Tanaka. Obviously, these two would have great matches in real life. Unfortunately, though, they don't have in-ring chemistry in this mod. And as far as they've had, I mean, that 79 was probably the best thing yet. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it'll get into the 80s on this show. I doubt it. And also, Mike Awesome is now starting to feel the effects of his stamina being kind of depleted. So that's not fun. And so we got Sasuke and Two Cold Scorpio against Dave Taylor, Doug Williams. A little New World Order British Combat Club matchup as Two Cold Scorpio is going to beat Dave Taylor. And so, yeah, that just kind of makes sense. And then Shiro Kashinaka against Tomirishi against Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki as Jinsei Shinzaki beating Shiro Kashinaka. We should probably have that actually follow that. That probably makes sense. Also have the British Combat Club New World Order match main event and open up the show. Let's see where we're going to run this first day. As, yeah, we could almost sell out Nagata City Gymnasium, or we can just kind of split it up in half, because I know, obviously, we're going to be running a lot of shows here. I think that's what we're going to do. We're just going to run the Toyohashi General Gymnasium for night 1, and then night 2, we'll run the Nagoya Congress Center. I like that. Like a nice little split, half and half like that. 76, though, for the opener. Not bad at all, thanks to, obviously, Two Cold Scorpio and the Great Sasuke, but I mean, at least Dave Taylor, he's not really improved a whole lot, so that's not good, but Doug Williams is getting a little bit better. Scorpio Splash from Two Cold Scorpio over Dave Taylor in 9:53. 72 for Toei Ishii and Shiro Kashinaka against Jinsei Shinzaki and Hayabusa. Yeah, I probably should have stuck with my gut here, but at least, I lose with an 83. That is nice to see. And Jinsei Shinzaki, though, getting the win in 10:23. 69 for Mike Awesome and Masato Tanaka. Brutal. But yes, Tornado DDT win for Masato Tanaka. It's a nice win. Nice win. He is needing that, and 2 points for him. An 80 for the Masahiro Chono Headhunter A matchup. The Deathlock STF from Masahiro Chono in 20 minutes. I mean, Headhunter A's big ass legs, having to twist them up in an STF would be pretty impressive to see. Another 80 for Kensuke Sasaki and Big Titan as Kensuke Sasaki with the Northern Lights Bomb in 2027. It's a nice performance for Kensuke though with an 80. As Roshiase and Jun Akiyama with an 81. Jun Akiyama beats him with the Blue Thunder Bomb in 2021. A 71 for Jun Akiyama, 78 for Roshiase. Fuck yeah. And a 79 for... Oh, they don't have good chemistry. Okay, that makes sense why it was a steel strip matchup, but still a 79. As Fuchi actually outperformed him. That was pretty shocking. But Steve Williams gets the win with the Dr. Bomb in 10 minutes. Fuck yeah. Just using a size and strength advantage over myself Fuchi there. And, a shocking, Dr. Bomb out of nowhere in 10 minutes. Finished with 82 for the main event. As Vader gets outperformed, but he gets the win with the Vader Bomb in 2028 over Norman Smiley. As what a win, though, for Vader. Start off the tournament strong. As he avoids being upsetted, as most champions seem to be when I book these round-robin tournaments. But, yeah, I mean, a pretty solid show besides the Masato Taka Mike Awesome match, unfortunately. But everything in the dark green besides that. It's a solid start. Solid start. As on to night 2 we go. Alright, let's see how blocks C and D are going to do for their first show. As we are going to make sure. There we go. Let's have we run the Nagoya Congress Center. Perfect. Backstage instance. See what Taz and Hashimoto. Taz was brought for Russ's Corey accused of failing to pick up his share of the tab at the bar. The judge Shin Hashimoto found him guilty and sentenced him to buy drinks after the show. Let's see what Spivey did. I went to Motivation Nagata. Well, that works. Hell yeah. Yes, so the main event for night 2. Hashimoto Ultimo Dragon makes a whole lot of sense. Hashimoto's going to beat him in 22 minutes, but I do love that match. Just the size advantage, too much for Ultimo Dragon. Masao and Taue would be a good co-main event, though, obviously. Masao's going to beat him. Johnny Smith, Kawada. That's a fun match to have. Kawada's going to beat him. Dean Malenko, Johnny Ace. Little Gaijin match. Dean Malenko's going to win. That's his first 2 points of the tournament. And I don't think they've ever had a singles match. Oh, they have. A couple of times. In 1993, though, so it's been a while. It's been a hot minute. But Dean's always beaten him. Actually, I think Vampiro, Wild Pegasus is going to be the better matchup there. It's going to be tough, though. Wild Pegasus is going to get the win in 20 minutes, so the All-Asia Tag Champs starting off strong on the first night. Then Dan Crawford and Koji Kanemoto. Crawford's going to win in 22 minutes. Actually, I don't know. I think this might even be better than the Dean Malenko Johnny Ace match. So we'll bump that up. So yeah, we got Los Guerreros and Los Pravano, which is Chavo and Eddie against Psicosis and Damien, which I love this match. Just a fucking lucha tag match. And then Yoshinori Ogawa against Super Astro as well. Super Astro's going to beat Ogawa since we're doing, obviously, again having a main event with New World Order versus, or not New World Order, Holy Demon Army against the Ultimate Dragon, Super Astro, and Golden King trio. Just figured we'd have to have a match there with Ogawa and Astro. I think this is going to be a much better night than night 1. We'll see. 72 for the opener. It's Eddie and Chavo. It's Eddie with an 84. Chavo with a 32. Getting carried in this one as Eddie with the Gore special over Damien in 932. God, I love our luchadors, though. Everybody's super talented that's a luchador besides, unfortunately, besides Chavito here, but Chavo's got a ways to go. He's still early on in his career. It would take him a little bit. I would say he wouldn't become an actual good hand until really around 2001 probably. Zogawa and Super Astro have an 80 here. The Super Astro getting the win with the Astro Sisters in 2024. It's a good win now. It's a good win indeed. It's an 82 for Vampiro and Wild Pegasus. Wild Pegasus the Wild Bomb in 1932. That's a great win, though, for Wild Pegasus, as he's really going to come to his own there. Dean Malenko and Johnny Ace, oh, they have great chemistry. That works out. Texas Cloverleaf for Dean Malenko there in 1945. Nice little win for Dean Malenko. An 86 for Dan Crawford and Koji Kanemoto. Best match yet. There's an 86. There's Dan Crawford with the Tiger Driver over Tiger Mask 3. And yeah, that's a fun win, though, for Dan Crawford. That's nice. That's a good match. 81 for Tosha Kawada and Johnny Smith. Squad of Crab from Tosha Kawada in 2021. It's a 93 for Masawa and Taue. Tiger Driver from Masawa. Best match yet. That's a 25-minute matchup, though. Probably should have been the main event, but of course, with the Grand Heavyweight Champion being in the main event, just figured that should be, the main event. And it was still a good match, though. In 89 there is Jumping Spike DDT from Hashimoto over Ultimo Dragon in 22-28. Hell of a match. 88. We'll gladly take that. Yeah, what a show. Looks like Block C and D is the better block so far. Obviously, it's just the first 2 shows, though, so we got a long ways to go. As on to night 3, we go. Alrighty, night 3. No backstage incidents, so we get right into it. People hitting the wrong goddamn thing. There we go. As far as, where to run this show at is the question. Yeah, we'll just run the star lanes. Works for me. Alright, so night 3. Main event here. Probably Hiroshi Hase. Well, it's either going to be Hase and Doc or Hansen and Kobashi. We'll go with Hansen and Kobashi as the main. Hansen's going to beat him. I want to say Kobashi's beaten him like every single time, but once, yep. I'll up twice. Early on, at the first Champion Carnival that we booked, and then at the next one. So yeah, at least, Hansen just keeps on winning over Kobashi. He's 3-1 in Champion Carnival matches. It's pretty big. Oh, Kobashi's a little unhappy about that decision. That's alright, though. Hase and Steve Williams, though. Hase's going to beat him in 28 minutes. That's a big win for Hiroshi Hase. Yeah, Mike Awesome and Vader. Why not? NWO colliding here. Is Vader's going to win? 2 straight wins for Vader. It's crazy Mike Awesome has less stamina than Vader here. That shows you how great of an athlete Vader is. As Chono and Fuchi probably could have actually, I think we're going to bump this up as Chono's going to beat Maso Fuchi. So that's 2 straight wins for Chono, 2 straight losses for Fuchi. That's a tough break there. Big Titan and Masato Tanaka can go here. As Big Titan's going to get the win. 20 minutes. Headhunter B and Doug Furnace. Headhunter B getting the win in 20 minutes. So the undercard, Takeo Mori, Seo Shikuchi against Dan Spivey and Chris Jericho. So Takeo Mori going to beat Dan Spivey there in 20 minutes. That's a big win for Takeo Mori. Obviously, since we're having, as far as Super Generation Army versus the Blonde Squad in the main event. And then the Fantastics against Hideki Ozaka and Satoru Ozako in 10 minutes as the Fantastics are going to get the win. Spivey folding. I completely forgot, by the way, speaking of the Fantastics, that Tommy Rogers invented the Unprettier. He called it the Tamikaze, though. As, ECW show, November to Remember, I want to say 90... I thought it was 99. It might have been 98, though. Yeah, just busting out a fucking Unprettier as the Tamikaze. Ruled. As, 70 here for the opener. As the Fantastics, getting the win. As Hideki Ozaka and Satoru Ozako losing to the Fantastics as Bobby Fulton's the Fantastic Flip in 9:39. Yeah, we're going to add the Tamikaze to Tommy Rogers, though. Because I don't think he has that. Pretty sure he doesn't. But, yeah, Bobby Fulton was the head and shoulders above everybody else in the match. Yeah, definitely the right decision, though, to have the Fantastics win. 77 for Seo Shikuchi and Takeo Mori, beating Chris Jericho and Dan Spivey. Takeo Mori probably should have made the Champion Carnival, being honest. He's been pretty solid. 65 is not bad at all. Takeo Mori, though, winning with the Lariat in 20 minutes. It's an 80 for Headhunter B and Doug Furnace. As a diving leg drop from Headhunter B over Doug Furnace. Does get outperformed, does Doug Furnace there. Or it does Headhunter B, rather. It's Doug Furnace with an 80. That's very, very good from him. But tough break. Tough break there. Big Titan beating Masato Tanaka with the Exploder in 20 minutes. Poor Masato Tanaka. He'll get there. I believe. 71, though, or 77, rather, for Big Van Vader and Mike Awesome, as Vader with 71, 67 for Mike Awesome. It's Vader with the awesome, oh my god, I'm all over the place, Vader with the Vader Bomb in 1950. Great stuff, though, from, as far as, I would love this match, obviously. Here in 98 would be interesting, because Vader, he still is Vader, but he's definitely not, like, early 90s Vader. but he could still go, and definitely Mike Awesome could still go in 90. This is kind of more of his prime. It's just funny in the mod here, he's actually slowing down, but just wild thing. Yes, Masato Fuchiya and Masanobu Fuchiya Masahiro Chono having an 83. They're in this little support matchup here. Great chemistry between the two. Deathlock STF from Chono over Fuchi. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. Probably could have been a lot higher on the card here. Yep, could have been over Hase and Steve Williams. It's Hase, though, winning with the Northern Lights suplex. What a win for Hase, though, beating Dr. Death Steve Williams in 28 minutes. Major win. Major win. 91, though, for the main event. As Hands with the Lariat over Kenta Kobashi. They have great chemistry, those two. And, yeah, what an upset for Stan Hansen. But, yeah, Kobashi with a 97. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, it's a hell of a match. That saved the show for sure. Block A was looking to be blocks A and B were looking to be about the same as night 1 was until that main event pushed it forward. As on to night 4 we go. Right, night 4 as Sortawa Demon Malenko, Tenzan and Kaishimoto, so NWO colliding there. Koji Kanemoto and Vampiro for a match. Probably Kawada and Wild Pegasus, though, was going to be the main, because that match fucking rules. As Johnny Ace is about for versus court, accused of mumbling about stuff all the time, bumming on house out. As a judge, Shinya Hashimoto found to be guilty and sends them to shut up, or cheer up, and buy drinks after the show. See what Hase's doing. Oh yeah, that's right, he's passing on tips on psychology to Shinjiro Otani. I forgot that he's got him under his wing. As, yeah, let's see here, because I'm assuming, yeah, we can't sell at the start lanes, which is fine. Not that big of a deal. We could either run the Dreamies, or we can, yeah, we'll probably just run the Sendai Sun Plaza. That works. But yeah, main event, is Quada, Wild Pegasus. A banger. Quada's gonna get the win in 26 minutes there. So that's another 2 straight wins for Toshiro Quada. Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to have Kaishimoto and Tenzan be the co-main, but also Taue and Dean Malenko's pretty intriguing to be a co-main. Taue's going to win, though, so that's a big win for Taue, first of all, getting the win in 23 minutes. Yeah, Tenzan and Muto, as Kaishimoto's going to win. I believe this is the first time they've had a singles match, yeah. 22-minute matchup there. As, trying to think. Yeah, Koji Kanemoto Vampiro is a pretty good matchup. Kanemoto's going to get the win, so that's 2 straight losses for Vampiro. Ultimo Dragon Johnny Ace. Ultimo Dragon getting the win. That's his first win, obviously. And then Kojima and Gary Albright to kick off the block matches. It's Kojima going to be beating Gary Albright. That is a massive win, first of all. But Albright is super pissed. Yeah, we're to the moon for Satoshi Kojima there. As the Golden Cosmic Kings Blonde Bombers matchup. As Chris Jericho is going to get the win for the Blonde Bombers. As Jericho's going to beat Golden King. That's a hell of a win. And then Shudo against Machizuki and Muhammad Yone. As that's Nuki Sano and Osamu Nishimura. So Osamu Nishimura going to get the win there in 10 minutes. Obviously the Young Lions will be losing. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty solid show. I think the main event's definitely going to deliver. We'll see how the co-main does. 69 for the opener. Nice. As, Nuki Sano and Osamu Nishimura just carrying the Young Lions of that one. As Osamu Nishimura getting the win at 9:43. 78 for the Blonde Bombers against the Golden Cosmic Kings. The Lion Tamer from Jericho over Golden King. Jericho did outperform him. They were both off their games, though. But yeah, that was pretty close. I mean, the right team wins, even with the great chemistry boost. That's pretty wild. Shout out the Blonde Bombers, though. What a win, as they don't click here between Satoshi Kojima and Gary Albright. Oh my, a reverse pile driver on Gary Albright. That is nuts. Especially for the man that had such a major concussion. Probably shouldn't be dropping him right on his head, but hey, what do I know? What a win, though, for Satoshi Kojima. I say Albright struggled with that length for sure. Ultimo Dragon with the Dragon Bomb over Johnny Ace. Ultimo Dragon killing it, as always. The man getting the win in 20 minutes is a 82 for Koji Kanemoto and Vampiro. They did the exact same here. 76s for both guys. Could have went either way here. But we went with Koji Kanemoto. It's Koji clutch in 21:57. That's not bad. Not a bad match. It's better than this. Kaishimoto with the moonsault over Roshi Tenzan in 21:54. Surprised this didn't do as well as the previous match, but that's alright. 85 for Taue and Dean Malenko. They have great chemistry. It's Taue getting the win with a dynamic bomb in 23:10. Glad this was the co-main now. And the main event is a 95 Associate Quad with the Quad driver over Wild Pegasus. Listen, we all know what happens to this man here. But if you were to tell me that Tocha Quada and this man over here we're going to have a match in 1998 in a Champion Carnival setting, yeah, I'm tuning in. That would be fucking nuts. And you'd be lying. Listen, you'd be lying if it was not the same, you know, as far as because that, especially in 1998, like he was hitting that next level. Like he was starting to get into his prime, for sure. And that would have been nuts. That would have been crazy. But yeah, 93 for the show rating, not bad at all. We'll gladly take that. So far, yeah, I mean, Block C and D has been killing it, and they keep it going there. As on to night 5, Alrighty, night 5, as they got us in the Sendai Sun Plaza. Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, though, man, everyone's being brought to wrestler's court as he was accused of not paying attention during a locker room meeting. The judge, Shin Yashimoto, found him guilty and sentenced to buy a crate of beer for the locker room. Alrighty. So yeah, I mean, we got Kobashi and Smiley, Chono and Steve Williams, and Kensuke Sasaki and Stan Hansen. Those are some bangers. Sure, yeah, we'll run the Sendai Sun Plaza again, I guess, since we'll sell it out. Fine by me. Yeah, but Chono and Steve Williams is definitely going to be the main. Steve Williams is going to beat him. So that's a big win for Steve Williams. That stops Chono's winning streak. Then we'll go Kobashi and Smiley. As Kenta Kobashi is going to beat Norman Smiley in 25 minutes. That's a big win for Kobashi. Kensuke Sasaki and Stan Hansen. I love this match. Kensuke's going to beat him. Kensuke beat him last year, too. So that's it. As far as they're 2-2 now. As far as in their matches. They've always faced off against each other in the Champion Carnival. Nowhere else. That's a big win. Big win for Kensuke Sasaki. I'm sure he'll outperform him, too. Then we'll go... we got the Headhunters battling it out. It's going to be a draw, double count out. They're going to brawl all over the place. There's going to be a lot of blood, weapons involved. It's going to be quite nice. It's going to be a nice change of pace there. Then Doug Furnas and Jun Akiyama will go before that, which should be actually a pretty good match as well. Jun Akiyama beating Doug Furnas. As far as Doug beat him last year, and then the year before that, Jun Akiyama beat him. So they're 1-1 going into this, looking for the trilogy win. Both guys are, and Jun Akiyama pulling it off. Then Big Titan against Mike Awesome here. As Big Titan and Mike Awesome, of course, the former Gladiator Titans colliding. And Big Titan getting the win. I mean, as far as their whole spiel, you know, Mike Awesome leaving because he felt like he was on the same level. You know, Big Titan was not on the same level as him. And here we go. Just a little bit, almost a year later, it seems like Big Titan might just surpass him. He's getting the win here tonight. And that is a massive win over Mike Awesome. Hell yeah. And then Yuji Nagata, the Great Sasuke, against Dan Spivey and Chris Jericho. We're going to use that since Spivey wants to put him over. Might as well do it here. This is Nagata and the Great Sasuke getting the win over the Blonde Squad in 18 minutes. And Norton and Manabu Nakanishi taking on Akira Raijin and Togi Makabe as Norton beating Makabe. Hopefully that match does not suck, because it has the potential to very much well be a poor start to the show. We'll see. 48, yep, it sure was. Scott Norton and Manabu Nakanishi with a 57 and 46. Makabe with a 23. I just can't stand it. Him and Ishii are so bad in this. And Akira Raijin with a 33, though, so at least he's doing pretty well. 78 for Nagata and the Great Sasuke. I forgot they have excellent chemistry together. As Nagata and the Great Sasuke beating Chris Jericho and Dan Spivey. As Nagata with the inverted figure 4 on Dan Spivey in 17:49. Big win, though, for Yuji Nagata and the Great Sasuke. They cleared Jericho and Spivey. It wasn't even close. 76 for Big Titan and Mike Awesome. Great chemistry here. Mike Awesome was slightly better, 1 point better, but the upset, though, for Big Titan with the Exploder in 20 minutes. 78 for Furnas and Jun Akiyama. It's the wrist clutch Fisherman's Buster from Jun Akiyama, beating Doug Furnas there. 20 minutes. A 77 for both the Headhunters draw here, as Headhunter B was the better one, but a fun little. I can't believe it actually went over that well with them brawling all over the arena and ended up being a double count out. 78 for Kensuke Sasaki and Stan Hansen. The Northern Lights bomb for Kensuke Sasaki over Stan Hansen. Great win for Kensuke there. What a beast. 91 for Norman Smiley and Kenta Kobashi. Burning hammer for Kobashi in 25 minutes. And an 81 Surprised that wasn't as well as it could have been, as Doc seems to be kind of falling off a little bit. I think he's kind of feeling, I don't know, just still his inconsistency and holding back. As a Dr. Bomb, though, for Steve Williams over Masahiro Chono in 26:05. It's a big win. It sucks that Kobashi and Smiley should have been the main here, but that's neither here nor there. As this probably should have been the best as far as Block A and B show, but we dicked her with the wrong thing being the main event. It's a hell of a match, though, for Kobashi and Smiley, though. Definitely not mad at that. As on to night 6, we go. Alrighty, night 6. Oh, they got us on a... oh, that's right, because it's the end of the month. So we needed a show to be broadcasted. Hopefully this is a pretty good show. It looks like it will be with Dean Malenko and Ultimo Dragon on this card. And, as far as... I think it's going to be a pretty solid show. So CBS... Nippon TV... Here we go. Well, we're just not going to risk it. Dean Malenko and Ultimo Dragon will be the main event. And it will be a draw. Time of the draw, going 30 for both guys. I don't think they've had a draw yet. I believe, the J Cup, and as far as Dean Malenko had beaten them once, and then Ultimo Dragon winning. Oh, that's right, the first ever J Cup. And the following year, Ultimo Dragon beat him again. Dean also, so they were 2-2 as of 95. And I don't think they've had a match since then. Oh, no, they did have one. It was the Best Super Junior Finals last year, which was a 99. We should have a banger on our hands. We shall see. The co-main event, though, part of me wants to have Misawa and Satoshi Kojima. Part of me also wants to have either Vampiro and Kawada as well, just because I know Kawada's going to do very, very well. Actually, Kaiji Muto and Darren Crawford's a really good shout there. That's a good co-main. Kaiji Muto's going to win in 26 minutes. Then we'll have Hashimoto and Albright, as Albright's going to beat him. So an upset here, and a big win for Gary Albright beating the Grand Heavyweight Champion. Both guys are going to struggle a little bit with the time, but I do love that. Kojima and Masawa can go here. Masawa's going to get the win in 26 minutes. Now Kawada and Vampiro. Kawada's going to get the win in 20 minutes. Z's just rolling right along here in the last block matchup. Johnny Smith, Hiroshi Tenzan. Tenzan's going to beat him in 20. Two Cold Scorpio and the Great Gama can go here, I guess. Two Cold Scorpio getting the win in 10 minutes. And then Kuraki Kobayashi and Norio Hanaga against Kazuya Yamasaki and Satoru Sayama. Little junior tag match. This Yamasaki gonna get the win for Shudo. As let's see what oh, I thought we had a Steel Show matchup. I will have it just be Two Cold Scorpio and the Great Gama, I guess. It's a good save. We'll see how it goes. As I think we're gonna run Kanto here. Oh my god. Maybe not. Trying to think what would be a fun place to run where we don't usually run. Yeah, I think we're going to run. Oh, yeah, I guess we could run maybe somewhere around here. I thought there was a big enough venue. No, I guess not. Yeah, it looks like it will be Osaka Joe Hall for this show. That works for me for night 6. Let's run it. Kuraki Kobayashi and Norio Hanaga against Shudo. It's a 73. As Yamasaki doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. Hanaga does pretty well here as well, with a 60. Yeah, Kuraki Kobayashi with a 48. Pretty brutal. We should probably, as far as phase out Kuraki Kobayashi, if I had to guess. Two Cold Scorpio getting the win with a Scorpio Splash. It sucks that he was off his game because it would have helped the match a little bit, but it is what it is. Johnny Smith outperformed Tenzan, but he still loses his Tenzan with the Tenzan Tombstone Driver in 2022. And 88 for Vampiro and Kawada's the Kawada Crab in 2028. It's a nice little 88. 94 for Kojima Masawa. Love that. As Masawa with a rolling elbow in 26-27. What a banger. Love it. 81 though for, oh my god, Albright with a 49. Dear God. Dragon Suplex hold from Albright in 1935. He might just fucking collapse here during this tournament. This is nuts. Nuts indeed. 99 though for Kaiji Muto and Dan Crawford. So Kaiji Muto with the Muto lock in 25-59. What a win for Kaiji Muto, first of all. And wow, was not expecting a 99 there. As a 98 for the main event. Time limit draw. 93 for both guys. Dean Malenko and Ultimo Dragon. They need more than 30 to get a win here. Yeah. What a show. As that definitely had quite the 1-2 punch there in the co-main and main. It works out that Albright Hashimoto was such a shit show when you kind of look at it. But yeah, we probably could have swapped this and that. Actually, we probably should have swapped both these with that. And we would have had a really, really good card. But I'm very, very pleased with that show. That went very, very well. As we definitely got to praise Hashimoto, though, for carrying that one. Kaiji Muto, of course, for his performance. And, yeah, probably Misawa, too. Misawa actually had a really good match with Kojima, so we'll gladly take that. Hell yeah. Night 6, what a show. As on to Night 7, we go. Alrighty, Night 7. So we got Vader Kobashi, Smiley, and Kinsuke Sasaki as well. As far as that's probably Doug Furnace and Hase. Looks like both the headhunters are on the card as well. As Masato Tanaka was brought from Wrestlers Court, accused of not joining the rest of the locker room for a night out, as the judge, Shinya Shibata, found him guilty and sentenced him to buy drinks right after the show. It's gonna be a lot of drinks. A lot of drinks. Alright, so... yeah, okay, so we definitely ran Chubu. We might run, as far as, since we just ran the Osaka Joe Hall, I guess we can run the Wakayama Professional Gym just to get that out of the way. Might as well. Yeah, Vader Kobashi, though. That's probably the main event. And Kobashi's going to beat him. So there's an all-age heavyweight title matchup for him with that victory. In the near future, Norman Smiley, Kinsuke Sasaki, Norman's going to beat him in 22 minutes. It's a big win there. As we'll go with Hase Doug Furnace. I think that's probably for the best. Doug Furnace is going to beat Hiroshi Hase. That's a big win for Doug Furnace, first of all. And it's massive. Absolutely massive. Jun Akiyama and Headhunter A. Man, Jun Akiyama's been on a roll here. I believe he is undefeated going into this show. So he beats Headhunter A. That is massive. Headhunter B and Fuchi steal the show matchup. Obviously, just his size alone, and just Fuchi can't handle it. That's why it's going to be a steal the show matchup. Then Hansen and Masato Tanaka. First of all, this would be an awesome match if they're both in their primes here. But Stan Hansen's going to get the win in 20 minutes. Poor Masato Tanaka. Also going to have Ogawa and Damien in a singles matchup, as Ogawa's going to beat Damien in 10 minutes, since we're doing, we got Headhunter B and Fuchis. We got a Los Bravano Holy Demon Army matchup there. So yeah, that's just kind of why that's taking place. And also Dave Taylor, Doug Williams against Shirakashi Tanaka and Tomohiro Ishii. This is just to give Dave Taylor and Doug Williams a win, as Dave Taylor's going to beat Ishii in 10 minutes. Hopefully that match goes over okay, because boy, that's pretty bad. Because Ishii's going to get like a 23, Doug Williams is going to be around the 30s or 40s, and Dave Taylor's going to be in the 50s. Kashinaka's going to be at least in the 60s. Never mind. Yeah, he's 59 there. Yeah, just brutal. Brutal. Dave Taylor, though, gets the win with the bridging fallaway slam. Do love that move. So that's a fun finish. Fun finish indeed. As Ogawa beating Damien with the submission in 10 minutes. It's a nice little junior match. Not bad at all. 72 for Stan Hansen and Masato Tanaka. And Stan Hansen with the lariat over Masato Tanaka in 20 minutes. That's a big win for Stan Hansen. You love that. You love to see it. And 80 for Masato Fuchi and Headhunter B, as Masato Fuchi losing to the Headhunter, to the diving leg drop, even though he was much better than him, but obviously just size-wise, just makes sense for this to be the finish. 81 for Jun Akiyama and Headhunter A is the wrist clutch Death Valley Driver. First of all, that's a big-ass Death Valley Driver to be hitting on somebody. There, Jun Akiyama, that is massive. Massive. Hiroshi Hase losing to Doug Furnace. Doug Furnace outperforms him, gets the win to Frankensteiner. It's a nice win. Nice win indeed for Doug Furnace. Norman Smiley, though, with the Norman Conquest over Kinsuke Sasaki in 22-14. We're jamming up for a big main event. Let's see if it delivers. It does not. As Big Van Vader and Gena Kobashi with an 80. It's Kobashi with an 88, 71 for Vader. He's off his game, too. Orange Crush, though, my God. An Orange Crush onto Vader would be just instant death for your arms and shoulders. That would be insane. Insane. And man, they just can't figure it out. They just can never pull off a solid show. I don't know what it is. Just something always falls apart for him, unfortunately, there. But yeah, we're on to Night 8 already. As, of course, after this show, we'll take a look at the standings. And hard to believe we just have 10 more tour shows left after Night 8 is in the book. So that is kind of wild to think. But yeah, on to Night 8 we go. Alrighty, Night 8. As backstage incidents again. Taue passing on psychology to Masato Tanaka, and Hase passing on psychology to Shinjiro Otani. There we go. No wrestler's court, thankfully. As Yeah, I think we have, unfortunately, have to run one of these venues where we're not gonna, like, sell it out. We've waited long enough. So, yeah, we'll knock out the Nakajima Sports Center first. And work our way from there. Masao and Hashimoto, though, as the main event. For sure. And Hashimoto's gonna beat him. First of all, that's a big win. That could have been a major victory for Masao, but Hashimoto hangs on and gets the win, especially after losing to Gary Albright like that. Massive. Massive indeed. Alright, before the 30-minute mark as well. The co-main, then, will be Kaijimoto and Koji Kanemoto. Got that little match. As Kaijimoto's going to get the win here in 24 minutes. I believe he's been undefeated so far. It's been a major victory there for Kaijimoto. It's Taue and Kojima. Taue's going to beat him in 20 minutes. Pretty straightforward. Crawford and Johnny Smith. Dan Crawford going to be beating Johnny Smith in 20 minutes. I believe Johnny Smith hasn't won yet. There's Albright and Johnny Ace. Albright with a win. Miracle Violence Alliance versus the Blonde Squad there is Albright and him as far as they've had their matches throughout the years as far as Johnny Ace and Gary Albright. And Tenzan's going to beat Wild Pegasus in 20 minutes. That's a big win for Tenzan. Oh yeah, we'll go Kikuchi and Ogawa. Of course, the men that have only had like 2 singles matches and they've been here the entire time since 1992. But Ogawa's going to beat Kikuchi there. And then Terry Gordy and Taz, Spivey, and Jericho's. Taz is going to beat Dan Spivey. We're trying. We're trying with Taz. We just can't give up. Just can't do it. Well, this should probably be a Steelers Show matchup by the looks of it. There we go. But yeah, Masao against Hashimoto. That's a hell of a main, and the co-main's solid as well. So we'll just look at the standings here for Block A. As far as they're 3 nights in. And then for as far as for Block C, they'll be 3 nights in, obviously, after this show. But Joe Nakayama is undefeated. He is in first place with 6 points. As Headhunter B is right behind him, though, with his draw and 2 wins. Chono and Steve Williams with 4. As then we'll have Doug Furness, Hiroshi Ase with 2, and Masato Fuchi with a tough start, 0 points, losing out in his first 3 matches. For Block B, though, it is a 2, 4, 5-way tie for first. Big Titan, Big Van Vader, Kobashi, Kensuke Sasaki, and Stan Hansen all with 4 points. Masato Tanaka and Norman Smiley with 2, and then Mike Awesome with 0. Tough start from Mike Awesome. As for Block C, as we'll take a look here, as far as we'll have to look and see. Crawford over Johnny Smith, so he's jumping up to 4 points. As Tenzan's jumping up to 4 points as well. And then Kawada is not on the... he's not on this card, so we don't have to worry about that. And Kaijimoto's jumping up to 6 points. So Kaijimoto and Kawada are tied with 6 points there, as far as they are the number ones of that block. And that's going to be a tough block to really take off. And then for Block D, it is quite the, as far as scattered little block here. Masawa will stay at 4. Hashimoto jumping up to 4. And then as far as Taue, he's jumping up to 4. And Albright, he's jumping up to 4 as well. So it is quite the tie for first place. So Dean Malenko had a good chance, but he was not booked on this show. If he does, in fact, be able to compete upcoming wise, as far as he'll have a chance to jump up to 5 points. Same thing with Ultimo Dragon as well. So that draw is definitely going to help them out along the way. So 69 for the opener. Nice. Jericho and Spivey, 67 and 60. Terry Gordy with 65, and Taz with a 49. Brutal. Kikuchi and Ogawa. Ogawa getting the win in 12 minutes, a 73 there. That's not a bad Steelers Show matchup. Going into the block matches, Wild Pegasus, Hiroshi Tenzan at 82. Tenzan with the upset with the Tenzan Tombstone Driver. What a match. 68 for Albright and Johnny Ace. Gary Albright is just... He's just not there anymore. He's not that same guy. As a belly-to-belly suplex from Albright over Johnny Ace. Yeah, it's embarrassing. 81 for Dan Crawford and Johnny Smith. Cobra Clutch for Dan Crawford over Johnny Smith in 20 minutes, as Dan Crawford was the much better guy. With the 84's Taue, the Dynamic Bomb over Satoshi Kojima in 20 minutes. It's a big win for Taue. It's an 80 for Kaijimoto and Koji Kanemoto. Thought that would be a little bit better, but that's alright, as Kaijimoto's the Moonsault in 24 minutes. Not bad at all. And the main event is an 88. Masawa outperformed Hashimoto, but Hashimoto with that jumping spike DT right in the final minute. What a win. What a match. As that is an absolute banger, though, for sure. And that shakes up Block D, as you saw. It's an 87 for the overall show rating. We'll gladly take that. The solid show. Solid show. 8 shows in, 8 shows down. As now on to night 9 we go. Then we'll be into double digits, just like that. Alrighty, night 9, and also the final show for March here of 1998. Backstage instance is Taue Masato Tanaka. As Taue passing on tips on using psychology to Masato Tanaka. Then Spivey wants to put over Takeru Mori. Spivey just wanted to put over everybody. What a pal. As, yeah, what a night this shall be for night 9. As far as the main event, probably Kensuke and Vader. That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Kensuke Sasaki's going to be beating Big Van Vader. It's a great win for Kensuke Sasaki, though. Beating the All-Asia Heavyweight Champion, and that shall wrinkle up the block for sure with that win. We'll have, as the co-main, Doug Furnas and Steve Williams, just combining both names. Steve Williams is going to get the win in 20 minutes. Hopefully he kind of gets his shit together, though, a little bit. As Chono and Headhunter B. Chono finally beats Headhunter B, as Headhunter B was on that run, of course. Kind of want to put this as the co-main, though. Let's run it. Fuck it. We'll go with Big Titan and Stan Hansen here. Big Titan's going to beat Stan Hansen. What an upset. What an upset. As Hansen is pissed. Not surprised by that. Kobashi and Mike Awesome. Kobashi's going to beat him. Of course, this was a GT heavyweight title matchup. Just a mere, 6 years later? 5, 6 years later? But yeah, what a win for Kobashi. And then the last block matchup, Headhunter A against Hase. Headhunter A getting his first win of the tournament. As he beats Hiroshi Hase. A much needed win for the Headhunter. That is for sure. Izuka and Teo Kia against the Kano brothers. Teo Kia gonna beat George Takano. Big win for Teo Kia, trying to get him up in the right direction. And El Samurai and Machizuki is obviously El Samurai gonna get the win. There, we need a steel show matchup. I guess it'll be this one. Fuck it. Teo Kia, hopefully, and Izuka hopefully have a good performance there. As, yeah, I guess we have to run the Hiroshima Sun Plaza. I don't want to wait for, might as well. Fuck it. Can't run from it. Might as well embrace it. Go full on. Head on with it. That's 68 for the opener. El Samurai with the Samurai Clutch over Machizuki. Obviously, much better is El Samurai to Machizuki, but that's a nice performance, though. 67 for Teo Kia and Izuka. Against Shunji Takano and George Takano. We're trying with Teo Kia. But Izuka, though, still doing well. He just needs to find a home, really, for the big part of his success. I think would definitely be him being booked a lot more if he finds a home somewhere. But yeah, him and Shunji Takano does really well, too, with a 68. As 79 for Headhunter A and Hiroshi Hase, as Headhunter A getting the win, the diving leg drop in 1948. Hase with a 76, 67 for Headhunter A. It was an upset, but a believable one, though. Kobashi beating Mike Awesome, the Orange Crush. Again, he keeps on beating these massive dudes with this Orange Crush, and it's just hilarious to think about. That was a really good matchup, though. Stan Hansen, Big Titan. Exploder from Big Titan over Stan Hansen. A believable upset again. It's relatively close between the two, and Big Titan's just on a roll so far. Beat Mike Awesome, beat Stan Hansen here. He's getting some wins. As Steve Williams beating Doug Furnas with the backdrop driver in 20 minutes. What a win for Steve Williams. A 91 for the match rating as well. He is back to being Dr. Death for sure. 83 for the co-main. Yep, should have stuck with my fucking gut there. Chono with the Deathlock STF over Headhunter B, as he was really off his game, so that just kind of shit the bed overall. But a nice win for Chono, though. He's done really well in this Champion Carnival so far. And then Kensuke Sasaki and Big Van Vader is an 81 main event as Kensuke beating Vader with the Stranglehold Gama in 22-42. Brutal. Brutal, that's crazy, though, because, night 9 again, and just blocks A and B just can't seem to be dialed in for their shows. But there's some good matches on there, just the wrong thing was the main event. But I'm fine with that main event, though. I'll defend that main event. All-Asia Heavyweight Champion losing in the main event. I think it's a believable main for sure. So on to double digits we are now. Finally at number 10 for the tour show. And as far as this is going to be close to the home stretch. we're kind of going to the midway point of the tournament now. Once we get to as far as night 12, we'll be a little bit more at the halfway point and into the home stretch after night 12, and obviously going into after night 16, you'll see how the the 4 blocks rather are looking like going into night 17 and 18. So yeah, on to night 10 we go. Alrighty, night 10, Sendai Sun Plaza as Doug Williams brightened the backstage area simply by being so cheerful and fun to be around. Way to go, Doug Williams. What a lad. As so we got Taue and Hashimoto, fun match. I think that's probably going to be the main. Kawada and Tenzan, Kojima and Dean Malenko. It's very much a unique matchup. And Kaijimito and Vampiro as well. That's a fun match, obviously, since they literally, the next year? Yeah, well, let's say 99, 2000. Yeah, well, next couple of years, they team up in WCW as the Dark Carnival. So that's just kind of funny. They face off here. Yeah, but Taue and Hashimoto can be the main. It's going to be a draw. Time limit draw. So that's our second time limit draw of the Champion Carnival so far. We'll see if Hashimoto can get there. It's going to be a tough break for him. But I think he's got it. Yeah, I mean, Kaijimito and Vampiro is a good call, though. I think we're going to go with that. As Kaijimito beating Vampiro, Kawada, and Tenzan. As Kawada's going to be Tenzan. He just keeps on rolling. Kojima and Dean Malenko can go here. Dean's going to beat him. Thought about giving it Kojima, but we'll go with Dean Malenko there. Johnny Smith, Koji Kanemoto. Kanemoto's going to beat Johnny Smith, and I mean, as far as Johnny Smith just keeps on losing. Ultimo Dragon, Gary Albright. Ultimo Dragon pulling off the win. The side DT over Gary Albright. What a win. As Kikuchi and Takeo Mori gets Doug Williams and Dave Taylor. Obviously just a win for that. And Los Bravano, which is, Damien and Psychosis gets Tuco Scorpio and the Great Sasuke. What a match. First of all, Tuco Scorpio beating Psychosis, though. And then Kikuchi and Takeo Mori against Doug Williams and Dave Taylor. Love how this is the Steal the Show matchup, but Takeo Mori's going to get the win in 10 minutes. Oh, we got to change something. Masa Saito being the road agent, giving a little too much. It's interesting. Wonder what he's... I'll have that just be Steve Williams, I guess. Alright. Straighten that out. Let's see here. Can we run the Star Lanes? This is the question, because this is night 10, so it's an even show. We last ran there at an odd show, so I don't mind that at all. Let's run it. 67 for the opener. Not great. Takeo Mori and Kikuchi did pretty well. Dave Taylor, not so bad, but again, Doug Williams just not there. Back to belly pile driver from Takeo Mori, though, over Doug Williams. A 77 for Sasuke and Tuco Scorpio against Damien and Psychosis. Tuco Scorpio pinning Psychosis with a Scorpio Splash in 9:34. It's a nice win for Damien and Psychosis. Or, nice win over Damien and Psychosis, rather, for the Great Sasuke and Tuco Scorpio. NWO. Doing on the undercard is Ultimo Dragon carrying Gary Albright to any type of matchup here as a 19-minute matchup. Again, Albright somehow doesn't die by the end of this. A Dragon Sleeper. I cannot believe he hits a Dragon Sleeper on him. Locks that in. That's a big neck they'd be putting on a Dragon Sleeper for Ultimo Dragon. But he gets the win, though. 1944. It's an 80 for Johnny Smith and Koji Kanemoto. It's a Koji clutch for Koji Kanemoto over Johnny Smith in 23-26. 82 for Kojima and Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko with a Texas Clover Relief. Again, he's just killing it. His old Dean Malenko. But, a nice little match. I think, stylistically, even though obviously Kojima more traditional heavyweight and Dean Malenko obviously more traditional junior heavyweight, I think they could have a pretty solid matchup, though. Just as far as, because just Malenko style, as long as he's not wrestling anybody that's over like 6'5" and over like 270, it works, but, so I think this should go over really well, actually, that match. An 80 for Kawada and Tenzan's Kawada driver from Toshiya Kawada over Roshi Tenzan at 24-24. It's a big win. Big win for Kawada. 79 for Kaijimito and Vampiro. I was hoping that'd be a little bit better. But Kaijimito gets the win nonetheless with the Muda lock. In a main event, a 75 time limit draw, 1 point for each man. Hashimoto was the better guy, but yeah, not a great show for Block C and D. We rarely get to see that, and that was just a shit show and a half. This didn't deliver as high as I thought it would. Same thing for this. Just nothing really was clicking, unfortunately. But that's okay. That's sometimes that happens. On to night 11. We go. All right. So We only have 7 matches for this show pre-booked because the Headhunter has jump ship. I'm not sure exactly how this happened because the last time I looked at the contract, it literally was like the day before it was supposed to expire. It's like he's gonna sign. That was that was what they were saying as far as with TEW. Loaded up after the night 10 show and the jump ship. So he will be forfeiting his matches, obviously, and that's going to be pretty interesting for Headhunter B, because Headhunter A obviously no longer here. He's just kind of, and also this kind of leaves a big question mark for Los Bravano, because now it's like, well, what the fuck are we gonna do? Are we just gonna repackage Headhunter B and have him just be the Headhunter now? Like it's gonna be unique. Gonna be unique. That's for sure. This night was supposed to have, if it was supposed to be him and Doug Furnace, which he was gonna win. So we'll have Doug Furnace and the Grey Gama do something on the undercard probably, if I had to guess. So we also have Headhunter B and Steve Williams on this show. Fuchi and Jun Akiyama's on this card. Kobashi and Kensuke Sasaki, which we'll probably have that be the main, as Kobashi's gonna get the win in 28 minutes. We'll go with the Headhunter and Steve Williams matchup. Steve Williams getting the win in 20 minutes. We got Mike Awesome and Stan Hansen. We'll go with Fuchi and Jun Akiyama instead. I think that's going to be the better matchup. Is Jun Akiyama winning again? I don't think so. Not so fast, my friend. Fuchi will get the win over Jun Akiyama. I'm assuming Akiyama beat him last year. Oh, no, it's first time meeting. Alright, so that's definitely fine. That Fuchi beat him. I like that. Norman Smiley, Masato Tanaka. Norman's going to get the win in 20. And then Mike Awesome, Stan Hansen. Love the match, but yeah, Mike Awesome going to be beating Stan Hansen. What a win for the Awesome One. That should be fun to see. So we also have Los Guerreros against Terry Funk and Brad Armstrong, as Brad Armstrong's going to be beating Chavo. Obviously, a much better team there in Terry and Brad Armstrong. Then Miracle Man's Alliance against Smash and Bash as Taz. Well, I guess, yeah, Flash and Smash, rather. As Taz is going to be beating Brad Renegans. We're going to keep on trying with Taz. We just can't, we're just going to keep on beating a dead horse. Is how that's going to go. Unreal. Alright, so Doug Furnace. And the Grey Gama. Taking on... We'll go Shunji Takano and Shinichi Nakano, I guess. Nakano. Yeah, give him 10 minutes. Doug Furnace get the win over Shinichi Nakano. Why not? Hopefully this match goes over well. It should, but you never know. You never know. I'm assuming... Oh, Sayama's given too much. It's a road agent. Assuming he's got the main? Oh, that's Mitsuya Mamoto. There we go. Have a Boris do that match. So yeah, quite interesting. Was not expecting that at all. That has definitely been a kick on the balls. Because yeah, WCW, I mean, it's getting a bit hectic, some of the contract negotiations with WCW, because anytime one of our guys' deals comes up, like Steven Regal, we've had to deal with this. Literally, we had to give Regal, I think his deal's finally been finalized. See if it is. Yeah, we had to give him a 10-year deal. Like, literally the craziest deal. It's $175,000 a month for 10 years. And he's also getting 10% bonuses of the shows, plus he's getting 50% of his merch. Like, that's the type of stuff that we have to do now to compete with, like, WCW and WWF. It's a bit out of hand. Just a bit out of hand. But that's how it goes. As, trying to think now. So, Night 5... Probably the last time we ran there. We haven't ran Chubu in a while. Well, yeah, let's run the old Nagata City Gymnasium now. Since it won't be a sellout, but it'll be pretty damn close. Might as well. 66 for the opener. That's pretty bad. Brett Renegan's the worst guy in the match, though. Taz is getting better somehow. He jumped up to a 54 with the Kataja win over Brett Renegans. Don't know how he did it, but he did it. 75 for Doug Furnace and Grey Gama against Shinichi Nakano and Shunji Nakano. Frankenstein for Doug Furnas, getting the win in 10-17. 77 for Los Guerreros against Terry Funk and Brad Armstrong. Hell of a match, besides Chavo Guerrero. It's Brad Armstrong getting the win with a side Russian leg sweep. Not bad at all, with 3 of those 4 guys. Mike Awesome and Stan Hansen, though, getting a 71. Mike Awesome outperformed him. Gets one with the Awesome Bomb. Right guy wins, just by a point. Then Norman Smiley beating Masato Tanaka with the Norman Conquest in 20 minutes. 77 for Fuchi and Jun Akiyama. Fuchi has blown his eardrum out. Rather, I thought he busted it, but he blown it out. And it's an STF win for Fuchi over Jun Akiyama, stopping the Jun Akiyama run that he has had. As Jun Akiyama was the one who caused the blown eardrum. I'm sure he did clapped a little too close to the ear on one of those shots. And clipped him with it. Steve Williams, though, beating Headhunter B with the backdrop driver. So because he'll be the Headhunter going forward, but after this tour, it'll start, type of thing. But yeah, Steve Williams beating the Headhunter with a backdrop driver, and then Kenta Kobashi beating Kensuke Sasaki with the Brainbuster with a 90. What a match here. Obviously, these 2 men going to have legendary performances. But right here, they have a fantastic match here with a 90 and an 89 show for a 90 main event. Very, very solid indeed. As now on to night 12, as we will be, as far as taking a look and seeing what the standings are after this show. But yeah, I mean, so Fuchi and Steve Williams and Doug Furnas, they get an automatic win because, obviously, Headhunter A had to forfeit his matches because he's no longer with us. But, yeah, I can't believe Blue Panther has a 97 technical rating. Blue Panther's the man. But, yeah, on to night 12. We go. Alrighty, night 12 is backstage incident. So it's the Hase and Shinjiro Otani. Passing on microphone work is Hase to Otani, and then Taui's passing on psychology to Masato Tanaka. So we had a Masao Kobashi main event last year. Yeah, no Masao Kobashi match this year. But Kaijimiro Johnny Smith, Masao Johnny Ace, Tenzan Vampiro. I mean, there's really not the big, marquee match, unfortunately, here. I'm sure we'll figure one out, but right now I'm not really seeing one that I really fancy. But, yeah, I guess we'll run the Sendai Sunplows again, because I don't want to run Kanto when, we probably use, an actual great main event. We'll just run Hashimoto and Kojima for now. Hashimoto's going to get the win in 20 minutes. It's a win for the Grand Heavyweight Champion. We'll go Masao Johnny Ace. Here's Masao's going to beat Johnny Ace in 23 minutes. Kaijimuro Johnny Smith. Kaijimuro getting the win. Poor Johnny Smith there. Well, I guess Dan Crawford might be the best thing on this card. Dan Crawford's going to beat him in 20. Albright and Malenko. So Albright's going to win. It's going to be a steal the show matchup in here again. Just size-wise, just makes sense for him to get the win. Tenzan and Vampiro. And go here's Vampiro beating Tenzan. I believe that is his first win of the tournament. As we'll take a look here and see what the standings are. Of course, Block A, Doc now up to 10 points, and he is basically running away with this block. Some drastic things will have to happen, because he's lost to only Hase. He's got Jun Akiyama left, but since he beat Masahiro Chono, I believe that will basically punch his ticket in for Block A. For Block B, it is still close. Kobashi with 8, Big Titan Kensuke Sasaki with 6. Kobashi, though, the one loss was to Stan Hansen, so unless Stan Hansen kind of gets his shit together, it looks like Kobashi will be going into the finals, taking on Steve Williams. Block C, Kaijimuro jumping up to 10, Kawada jumping up to 10, so again, it's going to come down to those two. As far as that matchup, Vampiro getting his first 2 points. As far as that goes, Crawford jumping up to 6. That's pretty big. And then as far as for Block D, though, Block D is pretty fantastic, because Masao's going to jump up to 6. Hashimoto's going to jump up to 7. And Albright's jumping up to 6. So this is quite the block as of right now. But there's still some time left for a lot to take place there. But Block D is quite the jam-packed block. So far, we're going to have a pretty solid finals by the looks of it. But yeah, Vampiro beating Tenzan. Los Guerreros against Terry Gordy and Taz. As Taz is going to beat Chavo. So this is just having Chavo lose to everybody that he can. Then Two Cold Scorpio beating Doug Williams. Of course, NWO, British Combat Club, since we're having as far as a Johnny Smith Kaijimuro matchup, just figured that would make sense to have on the undercard as well. I think we're good to go for night 12 Let's run it. 67 for the opener. Scorpio Splash over Doug Williams. As that was a 67. 69 for Eddie Guerrero and Chavo Guerrero taking on Taz and Terry Gordy. Taz with the Katajime again. We're trying. We're still trying with Taz. Just can't give up on him. Vampiro, though, beating Tenzan with a nail in the coffin. It's a great win. Great match. First of all, an 82. That's actually really good from Vampiro and Tenzan. But yeah, Vampiro's ready to go. Listen, he's ready. He is ready. An 80 for a Dean Malenko, Gary Albright matchup, as Dean Malenko should have won here probably, but Albright getting the win with the belly-to-belly suplex in 10-20. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. 83, though, for Wild Pegasus and Dan Crawford. Could have went either way. I gave it to Dan Crawford with the Cobra Clutch in 20 minutes. It's a hell of a win. Hell of a match, though, too. As Kaijimoto and Johnny Smith, as that has been pretty solid. Kaijimoto with an 88, 68 for Johnny Smith. You love to see it. You love to see it. As a solid little matchup there. An 89 for Masawa and Johnny Ace. Masawa with the Masawa as for the Tiger Driver at 23:03. Solid win for Masawa there. That is major in our main event to 75. Oh, they don't click. Brutal. Hashimoto beating Kojima the Jumping Spike DDT. Man, that just ruined that card. Oh well. Still a 76. We'll take it. Man, that just sucks though, because we were really riding high. Every single match was in the 80s and above until Hashimoto and Kojima stink up the joint in the main event. Nah, it's still a decent match. Just not on par to what we believe should be a main event. As now we just have nights 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 left. We're coming down to the wire. And as far as for Steve Williams, he's just got to maintain control. For Block B, it's Kobashi's got to stay ahead of everybody else. Block C and D, though, it's a goddamn free-for-all. And we'll see how that plays out as far as is going to be Kaijimoto or is it going to be Toshiaki Kawada. If that ends up in a draw between Kawada and Kaijimoto, though, boy, we're going to have ourselves in a bit of a pickle going into the final. But, yeah, we'll see how Night 13 goes as that is the next show. Alrighty, Night 13 as Big Titan Norman Smiley, Big Van Vader, Masato Tanaka. I think the main event's probably going to be Akiyama and Chono, though. That just makes the most sense. As, yeah, Chono gonna get the win over Jun Akiyama in 25 minutes. And then we'll have Hase Masafuchi as Fuchi gonna be getting the win over Roshi Hase in 27 minutes. That's a big win, though, for Masafuchi. Kensuke Sasaki and Mike Awesome as Kensuke gonna get the win in 24 minutes. As Big Titan Norman Smiley gonna get the win over Big Titan. I think that's the right call. Vader and Masato Tanaka. Oh, yeah, hold on. I'm assuming Vader's gonna get the win. He is in 10 minutes. Gonna be set for Steal the Show, which will lead to the Blonde Bombers and Los Pravano as Candido and Jericho against Psicosis and Damien. It's a fun Junior Six-Man, though, but Jericho and Candido will get the win. Then George Takano and Shinichi Nakano against the Tactical Technician Squad as Otani is going to beat Shinichi Nakano. We're just trying to build those guys up. Obviously there. And we need... Let's see. We'll need a Steve Williams match. That works for me. We'll go Steve and Taz. Steve and Taz. And we'll go with... I think we're going to go with Rai... Oh, I was thinking Raijin and Makabe, but we might just go with Ishii and Super Strong Machine. Just to change it up a little bit. Just to give Taz a win over Super Strong Machine, because he should have some pop to help us out a little bit. We'll see. Steve Williams. Super Strong Machine. Good shit there. We'll bump this up. Yeah, we'll actually just keep it right there. I think that's for the best. Yeah, I mean, we'll run the, War Memorial Hall, I guess. We'll go halfway with that. For Night 13, let's run it. It's a 60 for the opener. It's Otani and Tamon Honda beating George Takano, Shinichi Nakano's Otani with the springboard drop kick. It's actually a pretty good back and forth matchup, but Otani and Tamon Honda were the better team. Slightly better, but they were better enough to make that work. As a solid 60 there, a 70 for Taz and Steve Williams against Tomohiro Ishii in Super Strong Machine. Taz tapping out Super Strong Machine with the Katahajime in 10 minutes. It's a big win. Big win for sure as Steve Williams with an 87, though. That was nice to see. As far as him getting the, carrying that one. Candido and Jericho being the better team there against Damian Psychosis. If Psychosis can get his shit together, man, Los Bravano will be on a tear. That is for sure. Big Van Vader and Masato Tanaka having an 80. Belly-to-belly suplex from Big Van Vader over Tanaka. This definitely is in Vader's wheelhouse, working 10, 12, 15 minutes. So he delivers a big-time matchup. There's an 83 for Big Titan and Norman Smiley. Big Titan actually did pretty well there. 70. Now Norman Smiley an 81. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. 76 for Mike Awesome, Kensuke Sasaki, Northern Lights Bomb for Kensuke in 23.50. Not bad at all. Kensuke Sasaki in the 82. He's definitely getting a lot better. Here's Hase and Fuchi. Both guys were off their games. That's unfortunate. But Masato Fuchi, though, beating Hiroshi Hase with the SDF in 27 minutes. 79 for Jun Akiyama. Masahiro Chono with the Yakuza kick over Jun Akiyama. That's a tough break, honestly, because really with everybody, as far as like Norman and Big Titan being the best match, I did not think that was going to happen. Thought for sure it was going to be Chono and Jun Akiyama, or even Fuchi and Hase. Yeah, I mean, that's a solid matchup, though, for Smiley and Big Titan. As, on to night 14 we go. There. Almost there. Just got 4 more shows left of the actual block part, and then the final show. Kensuke Sasaki entertained the locker room by organizing a poker tournament. Way to go, Kensuke. What a legend. So as far as for this night, Masao and Ultimo Dragon is definitely the main. Actually, probably should be Hashimoto and Dean Malenko, now I'm thinking about it. That would make a lot more sense. That'd make a lot more sense. We'll have that be the main, but Hashimoto's going to beat him in 20 minutes. Wanted to give that a little bit more time, but 20's fine. We'll see how Masao and Ultimo Dragon, I'm assuming that's going to go pretty long. Yes, right before the 30-minute mark. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be just a banger and a half, though. I want to say this is the first time they've had a singles match, because I don't think they had a Champion Carnival matchup last year. Yeah, first time meeting. Boy, that's going to be a banger, for sure. Probably should be the main, like I said, but, Hashimoto and Dean Malenko is a great match, too, so I'm not too bummed out about it. Koji Kanemoto, though, and Wild Pegasus. Of course, this was both their debuts in the company, back at the old J-Cup. Alright. And they're 1-1 going into this match. As Koji Kanemoto gonna win this match as well. Winning the trilogy. I mean, I don't know. Wild Pegasus has been doing very well, obviously. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for sure. Darren Crawford and Dosha Kawada, though, that is actually going above that match I just had. Kawada's gonna get the win there. As, he's been just killing it. Killing it as of late. Wait a minute. Hold on here. About to say something's off. Because, wait a minute. About to say Kawada. No, we're good to go. I was thinking that we had something messed up here. Because I'm seeing Taue and Johnny Ace and Johnny Smith and Vampiro. Something is off. Yeah, it's got to be the no? Are we... That is, yeah, something's off. Something is off. I'm not exactly sure what yet, but it's off. Johnny Smith and Vampiro had that now. Johnny Smith's going to beat Vampiro. Yeah, because we have we got 6 matches. We have 1 match too many. As I don't have the fucking shit loaded up on the... Okay, so we're just going to have to wing it and just say, fuck it. This is just going to be night 14. Oh no, we're good. I don't know why I was thinking we only had 5 matches. Now it's 6. I'm an idiot. Alright. I was freaking out over nothing. But El Samurai and Jushin Liger are going to beat the Fantastic. This is a banger, though. As Liger and El Samurai will get the win. And Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki will be beating Machizuki and Muhammad Yone. Jinsei Shinzaki getting the win there. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the Kanto show. I am feeling very confident about this show. We'll be running Komozawa General Gymnasium for this show. Oh, just the gymnasium, not the General Gymnasium. But yeah, about 5K in attendance. I want to say, is there a bigger venue? Yeah, I'm about to say the Hall Square at 5,000. Even the Kawasaki Civic Gymnasium might be a good call. Yeah, we'll do that. This is a banger show, though. Let's see what we get. A 69 for the opener. That is not bad at all. Hayabusa Jinsei Shinzaki killing it. Absolutely killing it. Jinsei Shinzaki getting the win. It's a 77 for the Fantastics against Liger and El Samurai. Liger and El Samurai doing a very good job. There is Liger with an 89, 70 for El Samurai. Bob Fulton and Tommy Rogers are getting there, though, but they obviously got a ways to go from reaching El Samurai and Liger's level. But Bobby Fulton taking the Samurai Bomb in 10 minutes. 81 for Johnny Smith and Vampiro, as a Death Valley Bomb from Johnny Smith, getting his first win of the tournament, finally, for Johnny Smith. 78 for Toway and Johnny Ace. Oh, that's right, it's a Steel the Show matchup. They don't click. That makes sense, as Toway gets to win the Dynamic Bomb. It's 78, though, so it could have been a lot worse. 82 for Koji Kanemoto, Wild Pegasus. Yep, Wild Pegasus did outperform him. That's a tough break, but I'm still fine with that match. As far as that's fine either way. 88 for Dan Crawford and Toshak Kawada. As Kawada with the Kawada Crab over Dan Crawford in 24-15. Hell of a match there. 96 for Masao and Ultimo Dragon. Yep, figured that was going to be real good. As Masao with the Tiger Driver in 28-34 in our main event. The 92. Dean Malenko losing to Shinya Hashimoto to the Jumping Spike DDT. That's a hell of a show. Yeah, I mean, Masao and Ultimo Dragon, that was the better match as figured, but that's fine. That is no big deal. No big deal indeed. What a match, though, with Masao and Ultimo Dragon. Jesus Christ. So yeah, we just have nights 15 and 16 as far as the last two that we'll talk about before we take a look at the final two shows of the tour, being 17 and 18. Hard to believe. We just have 4 more shows left. Hard to believe it, but yeah, we will keep it going on to night 15. We go. Alright, night 15, as we got Big Titan and Big Van Vader on this card. Shono and Hase on this card. Stan Hansen and Norman Smiley as well. As, yeah, pretty solid. Pretty solid. As, we're lucked out that Headhunter A's not on this show, so we don't have to change anything there. So we can just run our 8, no problem. We're going to play it a little smart here and have Norman and Stan Hansen main event. Norman's going to beat him. So that's a big win for Norman Smiley. Then Hiroshi Ase Chono can go here. So I think this will be a hell of a co-main. As Hiroshi Ase is going to beat his NWO brethren and stopping Masahiro Chono there because he has been on quite a run as of late. Big Titan, Big Van Vader, and the All Asia Heavyweight Champion will lose here to Big Titan. And that's a big win for Big Titan. And the Battle of the Bigs, Big Titan and Big Van Vader. But yeah, massive. Massive indeed, and Vader is unhappy about that. That's alright. That is fine by me. We'll have Kobashi, Masato Tanaka can go here. Obviously, Kobashi's winning. Headhunter B, Jun Akiyama. Jun Akiyama's going to beat the Headhunter, as Masato Fuchi and Doug Furnace. Doug Furnace going to be beating Masato Fuchi. As Takeo Moe and Seishi Kikuchi against Yuji Nagata and Two Cold Scorpio. Fun little Super Generation Army, New World Order matchup, as Takeo Moe is going to be Two Cold Scorpio. That's a big win for Takeo Moe. Then Ogawa is going to beat the Great Gama to start off this show. Let's see here. So I think obviously we'll probably, yeah. I mean, we could run like the Komozawa Jones Gymnasium here, but we might as well just kind of go back to Star Lanes, just kind of work our way back around. So I think that's kind of the plan. Yeah, it looks like that's the plan. That's fine by me. Alright, night 15. Let's run it. Ogawa beating the Great Gama with the submission. And as far as Ogawa, he almost got outperformed. He was really off his game, so that could have been bad. Thankfully, he did not get outperformed. Kikuchi and Takeo Moe, though, beating the Two Cold Scorpio Yuji Nagata team. Yeah, I mean, these 4 guys here, it is kind of impressive how well they have, as far as, because really, with Kikuchi, he's been there since the beginning. Takeo Moe obviously was a young lion. Same thing with Yuji Nagata, was a young lion, and now has been built up. And Two Cold Scorpio has really come to his own. Very, very pleased with how that tag match went. I mean, 76 is not bad at all. 79 here for Fuchi and Doug Furnace. So Doug Furnace with the Frankensteiner in 20 minutes. An upset, but a believable one. Jun Akiyama with the wrist clutch Death Valley Driver again. Hitting a Death Valley Driver on... I mean, the Headhunters had to be at least 350, 400 pounds. They were massive individuals, so that's just, that's quite impressive. 82 for Kena Kobashi and Masato Tanaka. The Orange Crush for Kobashi in 23-32. 81 for Big Van Vader and Big Titan. Both guys with 72s rather. Could have went either way, but giving it the Big Titan with the Exploder Suplex win in 21:37. Masahiro Chono and Hiroshi Hase, Northern Light Suplex, as Hase getting the win in 28:05. What a win, what an upset. Love it. Love it indeed. The main event is somehow an 80. As stand-ins with a 66, that is pretty brutal. Norman Smiley with an 80. I want to say Hansen is declining, yeah, and he's just inconsistent. The stamina's holding, just a lot of things going against him there. Pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. Again, blocks A and B, struggling. Just struggling just a little bit. But at least we get through it without any injuries. That's the one thing about this tour that I've been very pleased about, is so far, at least 15 shows in and out, no one has been seriously injured. We had a blown eardrum, but other than that, we've skated by pretty much unscathed. So that is that's pretty good, pretty solid for what we usually do. As just our final show that we'll run before we look at the standings to see what's going to happen going into the final two shows. Massive matches coming up, and it's do or die time for a lot of those guys. So this should be major stuff happening in the next three shows. All right, night 16. Taue Ultimate Dragon, Albright Masawa, Tenzan and Dan Crawford, rather. It's Kawada and Koji Kanemoto and Kaiji Muto and Wild Pegasus. That's a pretty solid 1-2 punch. We'll have Kaiji Muto and Wild Pegasus main event. Yeah, that's a banger, though. And Wild Pegasus is going to beat Kaiji Muto. What an upset win here. Massive. Massive indeed. As just, that powerbomb catching him. And, that's a massive win. First of all, that's your springboard up to the top with that win against Kaiji Muto there. That is fucking crazy. He was going to complain about it, but notice the intimidating side of Wild Pegasus cracking his knuckles and glaring at a change of heart. Yeah, that's for the best. Kawada and Koji Kanemoto, though, I love that. Koji, I don't know where that accent came from, but Toshiaki Kawada and Koji Kanemoto, as Kawada's going to get the win in 25 minutes. It's a nice match, though. That should be a solid match. They usually have pretty good matches. Masawa and Albright, I'm about to say they've had a couple of matches. Yeah, Albright beat him the first time around at Champion Carnival. That was kind of the big to do. Other than that, it's been all Masawa, and that definitely will be this case here, as Masawa's going to beat him in 20 minutes, which Albright's going to struggle with. Yeah, then, Taue and Ultimate Dragon's a fun match to have here. It's Ultimate Dragon with the upset win over Akira Taue. First time meeting, singles-wise. Ultimate Dragon going to get the win. I'm assuming he's going to win with the side DDT. We'll see, though. Might be with the Dragon Sleeper. Johnny Ace, Satoshi Kojima. Johnny Ace going to beat Kojima. This is a battle of the Ace Crusher and the Koji Cutters. That's fun. Kind of like that match, though. That's a fun little match. I don't think it's going to go over well, but we'll see. Tenzan and Crawford. Probably should go higher here, as Crawford's going to get the win in 23 minutes, because I think Crawford's going to do better than both guys in that matchup. The Yuji Nagata Great Sasuke Blonde Bombers matchup. So this is going to be a win for Candido over the Great Sasuke. This will build up to Candido Sasuke at the Champion Carnival final show. So that's a big match. And I think Candido and Sasuke is going to be a banger for sure. As Sasuke's a little unhappy about losing here, but that's okay. Scott Norton and Akira Raijin, of course, Norton will be getting the win. I thought we had a Steel Show matchup with the, I guess not. Let's see, Johnny Ace and Kojima. Well, might be, as far as changing that around. Well, that'd be a Steal the Show matchup. Why not? Or I like it. I like it a lot. Good shit. Good shit. Alright, so, for night 16, about to say, we could run Chubu, I guess, but probably shouldn't. Could even run the Sendai Sun Plaza again. Which, again, probably we shouldn't, but, yeah, I mean, I don't think Kanto's the play. I guess we're gonna go with, the Walking Perfectional Gym here. I don't hate that. Yeah, let's run it. Why not? 52 for the opener. Boy, that's a bad way to start off the show, but, Scott Norton, though, wins with a Flash Breaker in 10-14, 79 for the Blonde Bombers against Yuji Nagata and the Great Sasuke, which... It's crazy, even with the chemistry boost, it was relatively close. They were the better team, so it was a slight upset. But yeah, Candido and Sasuke, that's going to be a fun match. Fun match for the junior heavyweight title. Johnny Ace and Satoshi Kojima. Only a point difference between the two. Ace Crusher, though, for Johnny Ace getting the win in 10 minutes. 76 for Tenzan and Dan Crawford. This Crawford with the Cobra Clutch over Hiroshi Tenzan, which Tenzan's actually doing really well for himself. A 73 is not bad at all. 91 for Taue and Ultimo Dragon. The side DDT for Ultimo Dragon. Hell of a match, though. Taue with an 82. That's nice to see. I feel like he's been hit and miss throughout this series, but I think an 80 is a pretty solid point for him in a singles matchup like this. And 80 for the Misawa Albright match. Gary Albright might be out of a job, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but that is god-awful. You cannot be working a 20-minute match, a singles match, and it be a 51. You can't do it. Kawada, though, with a Kawada driver over Koji Kanemoto. Hell of a match. 86, too. That sounds really good. And 91 for the main event is Wild Pegasus, beating Kaiji Muto with the Wild Bomb. What an upset there. Massive win. Massive win indeed. A 90 for the show rating. Fantastic stuff. We'll take a look at the standings going into nights 17 and 18. Boy, oh boy, what a last 2 days that will be. We'll see how the standings are looking like, and as far as who's going to the finals, and that's going to be major indeed, because the winner of each block will have to wrestle potentially twice. If you win, you got to go on to the main event. But luckily, at least, we're going to put the semifinal matches, if you will, towards the lower end of the card. At least help them out a little bit. So for Block A, Steve Williams is still in control, but there could potentially be something as far as along the lines of, well, not really, to be honest. Now you're looking at, if Jun Akiyama does in fact beat Steve Williams, then he will have the tiebreaker and go on to win. Other than that, Chono, he lost to Steve Williams, so he'll have the tiebreaker loss. So it really comes down to Jun Akiyama and Steve Williams. That's a major match for sure. For Block B, Kobashi in the lead with 10. If he loses the Big Titan, he'll have the tiebreaker loss. But other than that, Kensuke's behind him. Norman Smiley's behind him with the tiebreaker. So it's Kobashi's block to lose. For Block C, Kawada is in the lead. And now that Kaiji Muto lost to that power bomb, that has changed everything. But there is some room still, because obviously we have those two men competing left. Whoever wins, if it's Kaiji Muto, he gets to go on to the finals because of the tiebreaker. And then for Kawada, he's chasing perfection. What a perfect block for him to complete. You're beating Dan Crawford, Hiroshi Tenzan, Johnny Smith, Kaiji Muto, Koji Kanemoto, Vampiro, and Wild Pegasus. Those are very, very tough opponents. To be able to go perfect, go 7-0, would be pretty fantastic to see. And for Block D, comes down to Masao and Shinya Hashimoto. For Hashimoto, as far as he is a point behind, but if Masao loses to Dean Malenko, and if he wins over Johnny Ace, he'll jump up to 11. Masao stays at 10. And that will be who goes on to the the semifinals at least. So it's either going to be Hashimoto versus Kawada / Kaiji Muto, or it will be Masao versus Kawada / Kaiji Muto for the semifinals for Block C and D. And for Block A, comes down to either Dr. Death or Jun Akiyama versus Kobashi / Big Titan. So some interesting semifinals matches, that is for sure. On to night 17. Alright, we'll see who goes on to the semifinals for Blocks A and B. Here's Vader and Stan Hansen for the match. Kobashi and Big Titan. So that is funny how that works out. So whoever wins that goes on to, as far as potentially what we're going to see for Block B and for Block A. It's funny how it ends out with those two matches. We'll have Jun Akiyama, Steve Williams main event. Jun Akiyama going to the semifinals. Massive. Kobashi and Big Titan. Kenta Kobashi. So we will have Kobashi and Jun Akiyama in the semifinals. Well, isn't that convenient as far as how it all started between Jun Akiyama and Kenta Kobashi, and now Jun Akiyama, Kobashi battling it out in the semifinals. That is very awesome indeed. Big Van Vader, though, and Stan Hansen. Hansen's going to beat Vader, getting a rematch win, because they had a match, just at the New Year Giants series, where, of course, Vader won. So Hansen getting that win here. Of course, that match should be very, very good to see. Norman and Mike Awesome can go here. Norman Smiley over Mike Awesome, as, that makes sense. Doug Furness and Masahiro Chono as Masahiro Chono going to get the win over Doug Furnace in 21 minutes. Hiroshi Hase and Headhunter B, as Hiroshi Hase going to be getting the win over Headhunter B, and then Kensuke Sasaki and Masato Tanaka as Kensuke will be beating Masato Tanaka, which that's going to be a banger. Yeah, now obviously this would have left for Headhunter A, and I believe his last match was going to be against Masato Fuchi. Yes, it was. So we'll have Fuchi. Trying to think. Yeah, but let's have Fuchi and Ogawa team up. Might as well, right? Junior Heavyweight Tag Team matchup. Trying to think. I kind of wish we could go with a 6-man, but there's no other people in the Holy Demon Army left for them to team up against. Let's see here. Trying to think what would be a good call. Was Funaki back? I thought Funaki was still hurt. I think that is the case, because it's pre-booked. It's all fucked up. We'll go with... Yeah, let's go Satoru Osaka and Hideki Osaka. Why not? Why not? Haven't used them in a month. No time like the present. As Ogawa going to get the win. Guess we could have had Fuchi get the win with that there. Oh yeah, let's do that. So yeah, I mean, Kobashi, Jun Akiyama, going to be the semifinals. Quite the banger. Quite the banger indeed. Yeah, we'll run Chubu here again. So yeah, we started out with them, and we're going to end it with them. So we'll go with the Nagoya Congress Center for night 17 here. Let's run it. As the Holy Demon Army beating Hideki Osaka and Satoru Osaka. Obviously there is backdrop suplex from Fuchi over Satoru Osaka at 950. 78 for Kensuke Sasaki and Masato Tanaka. First of all, the fact they have great chemistry absolutely rules. That is a match that definitely would be pretty badass. The Stranglehold Gama, though, for Kensuke Sasaki. Hiroshi Hase beating the Headhunter with a Northern Light suplex. Crazy that, we're now just down to one Headhunter. But Masahiro Chono beating Doug Furnace with a Deathlock STF in 21-28. He had a great G1, though. Or G1. He had a great Champion Carnival, rather. It's a big win. Big one for Chono. Norman Smiley beating Mike Awesome with the Norman Conquest in 2013. Vader losing to Stan Hansen. As Hansen with the Vader. Oh, Hansen with the Vader. Hansen with the Lariat over Vader in 2304. Yeah, I mean, solid matches as always between those two. And then Kobashi and Big Titan, which they have great chemistry. Kobashi with the Brainbuster over Big Titan to win Block B. In the shocking upset of Jun Akiyama beating Steve Williams in 27-30. What a win indeed. Massive stuff there. A 77 for the show rating. As, I want to double check that, because it did say that Chono tied up with Jun Akiyama and Steve Williams, so we might have to take a double look at that to make sure it's not Chono going to the semifinals. But I believe it is Kenta Kobashi and Jun Akiyama going on to the semifinals. And now we'll see who will be joining them in blocks C and D. As far as, boy, we got a quite the barn burner lined up as far as for this Champion Carnival, though. Very, very excited to see how this final day wraps up with. So some exciting development for Block A. Jun Akiyama, of course, had beaten Steve Williams, but he lost to Masahiro Chono. Masahiro Chono had beaten Jun Akiyama, but lost to Steve Williams. So with that big-ass tiebreaker, they're going to have a triple threat matchup to determine who will be the winner of Block A. So we get 9 matches on this show instead of 8. How fun. As Hiroshi Hase passing on psychology to Shinjiro Otani. As, of course, though, Kaiji Muto, Toshiaki Kawada, that will be the main event for fucking sure, and Kawada will win. He beats Kaiji Muto. Massive win for Kawada. So he has punched his ticket and has made a perfect run in this Champion Carnival. As for Masawa and Dean Malenko upsetting Masawa. We don't get Masawa and Kawada in the semifinals. We, in fact, potentially might just get Shin Hashimoto if he loses to John Ace here. He does not, though. So it will be Hashimoto versus Kawada. So it's Holy Demon Army versus Holy Demon Army for blocks C and D. And for blocks A and B, it will potentially be, depending on what happens here, it will be Super Generation Army versus Super Generation Army, as Jun Akiyama will be beating Masahiro Chono. as Chono's going to beat Steve Williams there, and then Chono will lose to Jun Akiyama, obviously, as the final fall, because it is an elimination matchup, that matchup. We'll go with Taue and Albright, I guess. Fuck it. Albright's going to beat Taue in 20. Poor Taue. Crawford and Vampiro can go next, I guess. As Vampiro going to beat Dan Crawford. That's a big upset for Vampiro there. Tenzan and Koji Kanemoto. Tenzan's going to get the win. Smith and Wild Pegasus can go here. Wild Pegasus getting another win over Johnny Smith here. I think that's the right call, though. I thought about giving it to Johnny Smith just off the change, but win against it. Ultimate Dragon, though, going to be beating Satoshi Kojima to kick off the show. So, we're going to have to definitely change the time of this. Make that a 3-hour show. Perfect. As we just have to change red shoes. Other than that, we should be good to go. But, yeah, I mean, what a massive main event, though, for Kawada and Kaiji Muto. Malenko upsetting Misawa, costing, as far as Misawa, the final spot in the semifinal. And winning his block outright, too. Just brutal. Brutal way to lose, but that's the way she goes. As a 90 for the opener, Ultimo Dragon beating Satoshi Kojima with the Asai Moonsault. 79 for Johnny Smith and Wild Pegasus. Wild Bomb from Wild Pegasus. Tenzan and Koji Kanemoto having great chemistry. Did not expect that at all. As Tenzan with the upset, getting the win with the Tenzan Tombstone Driver over Koji Kanemoto. That's an 83. Dan Crawford getting putting the nail in the coffin over Vampiro. Got the crowd buzzing, though, so that's solid. 13-minute matchup. Goes over pretty well. 72 for Taue and Albright. Albright with a 44. Jesus Christ. As a belly-belly suplex from Albright over Taue. Brutal way to lose. An 86, though, for the triple threat matchup as Jun Akiyama with the upset. What a win. What a win. So, yeah, it was supposed to be Steve Williams was first, then Chono, then Jun Akiyama, but of course, TEW just has to fuck everything up. An 82, though, for Johnny Ace and Shin Hashimoto's the jumping spike DDT from Hashimoto over Johnny Ace in 2022. And a Texas Cloverleaf for Dean Malenko over Mitsuha Misawa. What a Texas Cloverleaf, though, for Dean Malenko. Busting it out and getting a massive win and upset over Misawa, which leads to, obviously, Hashimoto winning his block. And then Kawada goes perfect as he beats Kaiji Muto here with the Kawada driver. Massive. Massive indeed. But yes, you saw the tour, and now you get to see the final show. The payoff here, you see the semifinals are set. Kobashi versus Jun Akiyama, as well as Kawada versus Hashimoto, and the winners of those two matches go on to the finals. And, I mean, this is massive, so Hashimoto's got a chance to win as the champion. Kawada gets a chance to not only beat the champion, but go on to win the whole entire goddamn thing. And then for Kenta Kobashi and Jun Akiyama, they have a chance to win the Champion Carnival. As far as that would be the first time winning for Jun Akiyama, obviously, that would be just fucking massive. As well as also, I want to say, as far as for everybody else, Kobashi won it last year, Kawada's won it in Shinya Hashimoto. So 3 previous winners. This will be the first time someone's won multiple Champion Carnivals, unless it's Jun Akiyama winning. Other than that, it will be the first time that someone has won multiple ones in this save, at least. So that's going to be fun to see. As I'm also going to have a junior heavyweight title match between Sasuke and Chris Candido, and probably some other matches as well. As we got to just make sure we get there. And as far as with as far as we're just a couple of days away, so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, on to the final show. Alrighty, the 1998 Champion Carnival Finals is here. As CBS, Nippon TV, perfect. So backstage incidents, Taue and Masato Tanaka's using psychology is Taue passing on psychology to Masato Tanaka. So the main event, it will be Kobashi versus Kawada. So they will both be winning their matches, and Kobashi will be winning the whole goddamn thing. Your 2-time Champion Carnival winner, Kenta Kobashi. Well-deserved, I believe. Pretty fantastic, if I do say so myself. Co-main event, Miracle Vines Alliance versus Chono and Muto for the unified World Tag Team title, World Tag Team titles, rather. Kaiji Muto's going to beat Gary Albright in 20. Of course, Albright's going to deal with I figured maybe a tag match could help him out. It does not. Chris Candido versus the Great Sasuke for the Junior Heavyweight title. Sasuke will retain. So far, we've had 2 title defenses. And our next matchup, All Asia Tag Team title matchup, and probably the second best thing, maybe even the best thing on the card. Wild Pegasus D. Malenko looking to defend their titles against Ultimo Dragon and Super Astro, and they will. This is a rematch from January, since Ultimo Dragon and Super Astro beat them at the New Year Giant Series, and also we had the Tag League matchup as well in '97, which Wild Pegasus D. Malenko won. And then before that was the in January at the New Year Giant Series, which Ultimo Dragon and Super Astro won to retain their Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title. So far, really, Pegasus and D. Malenko had only beaten them once in a straight-up 2v2, actually twice in 2v2 matches. So now making it 3 times. But yeah, obviously these 2 teams gel very well together, and they have put on some bangers throughout their time here. Big Titan, Big Van Vader, All Asia Heavyweight title matchup. Big Van Vader will win thanks to also interference from Mike Awesome, since we're going to, as far as that, I felt like that's a great way of having Big Titan lose out in his title match to Big Van Vader is to a Mike Awesome interference. As then we got the block matches. So Toshika Kawada, Shinya Hashimoto's the first of the 2. As Kawada, he's going to lose out in the finals, but he's going to beat Shinya Hashimoto here. So that's a great kind of consolation prize for Kawada. And then Jun Akiyama, Kenta Kobashi, which, of course, Kobashi is going to win. So far, Jun Akiyama has never beaten Kobashi in a singles match, and we're keeping that up here. The build for that, as far as seeing if Jun Akiyama can finally beat Kobashi, but he does not. Still loses to him. We're still milking that. There'll be a time. There will be a time, though. But in the opener, it's going to be an 8-man. We're going to change out Mike Awesome, though, for Yuji Nagata here, as it's going to be Norm Smiley, Steven Regal, Johnny Smith, Dave Taylor against Hiroshi Asai, Kensuke Sasaki, Yuji Nagata, and Bam Bam Bigelow. This is just to give Regal a win since he's back, all healed up now, taking on Bam Bam Bigelow. I'm excited to see how that match plays out. We should be good to go. We are. We're just going to make sure we are in the Tokyo Dome for this one. We are. Perfect. Let's have a post-show thing as far as Kobashi wins the 1998 Champion Carnival. Well deserved, well earned. He's been fantastic, obviously, as Kobashi, and I think this is very well done. Very well done indeed. And let's have everybody from Super Generation Army out there. That makes some sense as far as Masawa and even, Jun Akiyama. As maybe a tease of like a kind of, Akiyama eyeing the trophy and just being like, damn, kind of what could have been, but then, helping embrace the newly won Champion Carnival winner. Yeah, Takeo Mori, Sko Kikuchi, Kanemoto, and yeah, that should be it. Nice. Alright. So we're good to go. Let's run it. As the 98 Champion Carnival final starts off with an 8-man. That's an 88. That's actually super good, especially with like Dave Taylor, Bam Bam, and Yuji Nagata in there. Dave Taylor with a 63, though, is nice to see. He's getting better already. Yuji Nagata with a 76. That's good stuff. Regal Plex from Regal over Bam Bam. Love it. Got the show up to a strong start. 93 for Kobashi and Jun Akiyama's. The Orange Crush from Kobashi getting the win in 28:09. A lot of time for Kobashi because he's got a lot of time in between. As he also has this matchup to follow it as Kawada with a Kawada Crab over Shinya Hashimoto in 23:19. What a win for Kawada. As now we know what our finals are at this rate. Big Titan and Big Van Vader. I figured it being a Steelers show matchup would help it out a little bit, but actually I think it hurt it more than anything, because if we would have gave it a little bit more time, probably would have gave it, as far as a higher rating, obviously, but also too, I think out of everything on this card, something had to be the Steelers show matchup, might as well be this. That is his third defense, though, for Big Van Vader of his All-Asia Heavyweight title, thanks to Mike Awesome, though. For that one, a 99 for the All-Asia Tag Team title matchup. Ultimo Dragon, Super Astro losing to D. Malenko and Wild Pegasus. What a match. Can't ask for anything more there. That was pretty solid. Candido losing to the great Sasuke, and Sasuke with the Thunderfire Powerbomb. That's his second defense of his junior heavyweight title. Rain as a 97 for the unified tag team title matchup as Kaiji Muto and Masahiro Chono beating the Steve Williams Gary Albright team as Muto with the Moonsault making that their first defense of their unified world tag team titles. In our main event, at 99, Kenta Kobashi beating Toshiaki Kawada. I was hoping this would be 100, but that's okay. Kobashi with a brainbuster in 35 minutes. So Kobashi almost wrestled an hour in two separate matches, obviously. But that is a lot. That is a big toll on him. He is the winner of the 1998 Champion Carnival. And what a well-earned victory for that man. What a show. Yeah, obviously everything besides the All-Asia Heavyweight title matchup was light blue. And, yeah, we had 299s, a 97, 98 as well. Couldn't ask for really anything more. As a sold-out crowd again. Yeah, obviously we're going to put over Kobashi and Kawada for what they did today. Yeah, big hugs. Big hugs. And, trying to think. What should be the last one? I mean, you should put over somebody from that matchup. We'll go with Malenko. What a night. What a night for the Champion Carnival there. And now on to the Superpower Series we go for the next episode. We'll have, as far as potentially Shinya Hashimoto versus Kenta Kobashi as the main event, we're going to have a couple of, maybe just one, maybe two, unified Grand Heavyweight title matches leading up to the Kobashi match, so that should be fun to see as well. I'm really not sure what else is going to be on that card, but, we'll obviously have some time to think about it. And yeah, I mean, the Superpower Series is a unique spot because you're in between, like, the J-Cup and, as far as the Best Super Juniors as well, it's a unique spot. It's a unique spot for sure. As, yeah, I mean, that Champion Carnival, God bless it. Couldn't ask for anything more. Superpower Series is next. We'll catch you guys then. Take care, everyone.